beginning to look more like a house. I'm gonna go through some things I've done the past couple weeks with framing. I got this fascia on so that I could get my roof sheathing just to the right spot. And the way I got that up by myself was I had a plank from this stack of wood to a ladder over here going all the way across, and I would put a screw on the inside of my fascia board right where it would bump up against one of these outlookers so that I could climb up the ladder and put a screw right in the middle, and I could stand in the middle, balance it, and bump it against that screw and that piece of wood over there so that it was just the right location. I had the bottom cut, but I left the top long, and then I screwed it right in the middle there so it could balance and move around. I think I put 2 screws just to keep it steady once I got it in the right location. Put the other side up the same way, and so they both ran long, one up one way and one up the other way. And once I got them screwed in right where I wanted with a couple screws, I had one lapped over the other. It was 1.5 over 1.5, so 3 inches deep, and I just got a skill saw and went straight up the middle, and the joint turned out pretty well. I'm going to be gluing all of the joints on the fascia with Titebond 3. It's waterproof, sealing basically the end grains of the fascia board. I also went around and primed all of my outlookers, the end grains, before I put the fascia board on, so it's not going to rot. And working for a contractor, I've had to replace these in the past, and it happens mostly when they get rotted on the end, water intrusion on the ends. And for the roof sheathing, I use pressure treated on the eaves because I've had to replace bad plywood on the eaves before as well from home inspections. The home inspector would go around with a metal probe and try to poke holes in things and find dry rot. So I'm just going to put pressure treated on the lower spots and the trouble areas where you might get water intrusion occasionally. But hopefully I'm going to do the roofing right and there won't be any water intrusion anyways, because it was probably poor roofing for the other people that maybe it just went too long without getting re-roofed. If you let the roof get stepped on, and over the years the shingles lose their water tightness, they lose the gravel on top, they might just eventually leak, and then you get those problems. But hopefully I don't get those problems, and I will replace the roof after the right amount of time. Got another joint here with the Titebond, and let's look inside. Almost ready for framing inspection. I talked about how I was gonna balloon frame this after I had framed it at 8 feet. And so this is what it looks like now. And they also wanted clips. I forgot to mention the A34 clips at the top of each post, both sides. And let's see, I put backing where the valley is, where the 2 roofs meet. There's a valley there, and the plans wanted backing all the way under any valley and ridge, so I've got all those done up. I still have to put a strap from my trusses on the outside. I have to put this strap from my shear wall all the way up to the top there, basically this section and this section over there, and same thing on the other side. I left this a little bit unfinished because I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do it yet. I think I'm going to run this fascia board into this one, even though it's going to be about 2 inches lower than this fascia board, and I'll just end that one, this little one. I'll just end it, butt it right into the other fascia board. But I want to finish the siding and waterproof all that before I think butt this fascia board all the way into that one. I'm not sure yet still. Let's see. I'm ordered a little bit short on plywood, I think. You end up using more than you think because you can't have too small of a section on the ends. You have to have at least, I think, like 2 feet plus 10-inch eaves. So you end up wasting pieces that are less than 36 inches. Let's see, I've got to put a few sheathing on the walls still here and there. I left this open so I could have access. All my hold downs are done and tight. I think I've got these SDS screws in the ends of all my headers. I've got A35s galore every 16 inches on the shear wall one and shear wall one on the other side here. My old palm nailer that I got from the garage sale was $5,000 for all the garage sales, garage full of tools. The old palm nailer didn't work anymore. It had a rubber piece that just shattered inside of it, and the company no longer exists, so I had to go get a new palm nailer because it is a pain putting little clips in these little tight spots without a palm nailer sometimes. It'd be nice to get the Tico nail framing gun that has a strip of 1.5-inch nails, but that's like $250 for that, and I'm not ready to pay for that. Let's see, my plans didn't have anything about H-clips for the plywood, but I'm gonna put H-clips on all the way across anyways, and if they complain about the H-clips being on the pressure treated because it's not galvanized, I assume I could probably just put blocks underneath across here, but I'm gonna see what they say about that. The walls seem to be plumb and straight still. I had to put a brace across these because they were kind of bowed one way or the other, and I just went and measured out to make sure that they were on layout, 24 inches on center, boom, 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 and then tacked them in place along the 1x4. And then I had to add some bracing, boom, boom, where it said on the truss plans. It shows specifically where you need to have bracing on a lot of them. This little wall is kind of weird. I built it up because it was not balloon framed. We'll see what the inspector says about it, but basically I put some super long lag screws through the bottom, boom, 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 and one from the top over on this one, boom, all the way through to hold this 4x6 in place there. And then I've also got it locked, boom, boom, to that top plate. So hopefully they accept that. And I need to put a little bit of backing, so I've got like drywall backing, somewhere to screw the drywall to. I've got that in some of the places where I needed it for my ST whatever clips. They allow the trusses to move up and down a little bit, and these were supposed to be 2 feet on center, but I put them 4 feet on center because I didn't have enough, and the trusses are also clipped with the same clips like 8 feet away from here to here, so and then like 6 feet away here, so I think that it's got plenty of support and strength holding it in place, but we'll see what they say about that. Then as I was saying, I'll need backing here, boom, 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 between these trusses. Apparently in a lot of areas where in the middle of the truss, they say there's supposed to be some movement, and you're not supposed to put drywall screws into the truss right where it kind of goes over an interior wall, which I didn't know. So I'll be keeping that in mind when I put drywall here. Keep the screw about a foot out so that the drywall can stay connected to the wall and flex if the truss goes up. And for the edge on the ceiling drywall, just nail or screw it to the backer that's attached to your interior walls there. I still need to put, I think, hurricane clips. There's different ways people put them, some on the outside, some people put them on the inside. I'm going, at this point, I can't put them on the outside because over here, where the trusses butt into this side, there's no way to put a hurricane clip on the ends of those. So I'm going to put them on the inside. And I think I want to get the electrical and plumbing and HVAC done for rough-in inspection and just get all of the framing and plumbing and electrical inspected at once. And hopefully it's all good. Also, I've got these braces locking. These were not required by the plans, but these braces on the ends. I have a 834 clip on the bottom, and just make sure that the gable end is plumb when you lock this in. When you're working with wood that has curves and bends and bows in it, sometimes you'll bend a piece of wood to make it fit just right, but then it'll end up bowing another piece of wood somewhere else, or it'll pull your wall out of plumb. And it's been a lot of work to just kind of double check that throughout the process and make sure everything stays plumb. So far I'm doing pretty well, but it's a lot of work. All right, I think that's it for today's update.